And I'm just going to mute everyone now. And if you need to say anything, unmute yourself. So here we go. Okay, so one of the massage techniques I want you to do when we're lying down, I'm going to show you now, is something to the back of the skull. And if you are pregnant, I want you to not be at the base of your skull like I'm showing everyone, but to come up just a little bit. There's some gallbladder points that should be avoided. So let me see here. Yeah, that'll work. So when you're face down, you'll clasp your fingers behind your skull and hook your thumbs underneath the skull right here. And if you're pregnant, just come up a little bit like this. And then you'll work in a circular motion to the ears and then back towards center. And then if you're comfortable with this as well, because I know a lot of us aren't touching our faces, but as long as your hands are clean and you're practicing good hand hygiene, I feel like this should be safe. If you take your knuckles and just kind of go along the hairline like this, and we'll avoid the majority of the face, but it might be nice just to come along this route as well. Okay, so those are the only things I need to show you, and then we'll get going. So I want you to start flat on your back. And if you're following along with the playlist, go ahead and press play now. And I'm going to stay seated for this portion just because I want you to feel like I'm holding space for you in this moment. So start off lying flat onto your mat. And I want you to come long onto your mat. Bring the arms down to the side. Before you do any of the techniques I showed you, first and foremost, I want you to find your grounding in your foundation here. So start at the top of the skull and rock your head from side to side. And arms can be down to the side, palm up or palm down. And if you're finding that rolling your head to one side, so using your nose to draw a line from one side to the other, if you're finding stillness is serving you best, I want you to stay there. So maybe you're looking out over your right shoulder and you're just noticing this is working for you. Or if you're finding that just moving from side to side is best, I want you to be there. And then find stillness with the nose looking up towards the ceiling. And then suss around with your shoulders. So you might find that your shoulders are rolling in off of the mat. So I want you to lift your shoulders up, roll the shoulder heads back, and then allow the scapulas to slide down and away from the ears. And if you want, you can play around with flipping your palms up or down just to see how that changes how it feels in your shoulder girdle. So suss around here. Awesome. And then work your way down your spine. And take a breath here, pausing midpoint. Notice when your inhale happens, how your rib cage is moving and how it knits together as you exhale. And then move down to the low back. So your low back is touching the mat. Actually, if your legs are long, it won't be touching the mat. So you might want to bring your feet flat, suss around a little bit here. And then when you find a good grounding point for you, then bring your legs long. You'll have a little arch coming up in your low back. If that is too much, you can always bring your hands underneath. Or if you have a low towel or blanket, you can put that underneath your low back. But at this point, it should feel okay unless you already have back injuries. So you'll suss around here as well. You may notice that your hip bones are rotating in a little bit, and you can adjust that just by turning your feet out or in. And then move around a little bit because you might even feel one hip hinging up a little higher to the shoulder. So try to maintain some kind of a balance across the hips. And then moving down along the thighs, feel them soften from left to right. And then feel your knees. They should be turned up just a little bit. And then working down the left shin to the left ankle and right shin to the right ankle. With your heels engaged into the mat, go ahead and wave your feet from side to side until they fall over to, until they fall open naturally. And take a few cycles of breath here, just noticing how your body has this new foundation and grounding. Notice how your body moves as it breathes in this point. Gravity is working in your favor here, so take advantage of that. All right, using the massage technique I showed you in the beginning, and do this to your own degree, and feel free to skip it. Interlace the fingers with the thumbs down and bring them to the back of your skull. Allow the clasped hands just to rest on the back of the skull, almost like you're cradling it, and place your thumbs underneath the base of the subocciput, or the base of your skull. And once again, if you're pregnant, there's some gallbladder points, so bring the thumbs up a little higher. And you can start in the middle and make slow circular motions. Slowly working your way out to your ears. And you might feel that as you're making these motions with your thumbs, that adding a little extra movement from side to side feels really good. Awesome. In your own way, start making soft fists so your knuckles are then coming around the ears. And then you're working the hairline along the forehead. Once again, you can do circular motion with your knuckles, or it might feel good just to create lines. So going from the hairline and down just a little bit as well. And then place your fingertips on your hairline. And you can move your fingertips about like you're playing the piano, or maybe it feels like raindrops falling on a window as you tap your fingers along the hairline, just creating some stimulation. And if you want, you can tap along the skull too, as long as it's not annoying. Cool. And then work your tapping down your neck and onto your chest, and then bring your arms out to the side and just feel the energy move around because you've gotten your circulatory system going. All right, from here, bring your arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch, reaching fingertips away from toes. When your exhale happens, release. One more full inhale in, create length from fingertips to toes. Exhale, release. One more time, nice full inhale in, create length. And then as you exhale, slowly release and place your feet flat onto your mat about hips distance apart. And then walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. And allow your knees to fall over to the right side. So your right foot should have should be touching your left knee or left thigh. And I want you to be mindful of the shape that you're creating here. If you would like, you can place your right hand onto your right knee, left hand onto your left hip. If you would like something a little deeper, lifting the right foot and hooking it onto the left knee. Keep your gaze up if that's serving you, or look out over your left shoulder. Take a nice full inhale in. And exhale out. And then release your hands, take the nose back up to the ceiling, bring the feet flat. They're still mat width distance apart. And allow the knees now to fall over to the left side. So your left foot should have some engagement with the right leg. Once again, to have something a little more grounding, you can place your left hand onto your left knee, right hand on right hip. But if you feel like you need to be receptive, leave the palms up. Yogi's choice, draw a line over your right shoulder with your nose, looking out over the right side. Coming back into center, knees are flat. Hug the knees into your chest so they're a little bit wider. They might even be to the outside of the right shoulder. Low back is engaged as you gently rock from side to side. We're still early in our practice this morning, so be gentle. And then extend the left leg long. Hug the right knee into the chest and give it a good squeeze. Release any tension here. If you want, you can start making some circles with your right ankle. One direction, and then the next. And then make some peace fingers with your right fingers. So the index and the middle finger, the thumb is holding the ring finger and the pinky. And then hook your peace fingers around your big toe, your big right toe. Bring the knee into the shoulder girdle, and I'll sit up. So bringing the knee into your shoulder girdle like this. And then if you want, you can start making some circles. And switching direction. So you're feeling how the hip joint is moving, how the greater trochanter is moving around in the acetabulum. Yeah, the hip is moving around in the pelvis. The head of the femur is moving around in the pelvis. And then extend the right leg long. Bring the right knee into the chest. Extend the right leg long, but be mindful that you're not overreaching the right arm up. but you're really being mindful of keeping the right shoulder onto the ground. So it could be a little extension and a little flexion in the knee. And then right leg comes high to the sky. Make peace fingers with your left fingers and switch your grip. So left hand takes a hold of the right toe, right arm comes out to the side, and then bring your right leg across body to your degree. And if it feels good, maybe to flip your grip with your foot or to even release your foot, that's fine. Maybe you take your gaze out over your right shoulder. And then come back into center. Hug your right knee into your chest wide. Left knee is hugged in. Rock from side to side. And then mindfully extend your right leg long. Keep your left knee hugged in. Maybe make some circles with your left ankle, one direction and then the other. Making peace fingers with your left hand, take a hold of your left big toe. Extend your left leg high to the sky without overreaching in your left shoulder. Try to keep your left shoulder down and away. Imagine your left shoulder is glued to the ground. And in your own way, extend your left leg high as you can. And then bring the left knee into your chest and flow back and forth at the pace of your breath. And then have a slight bend into your left knee and make some circles. I should have done that first, but I forgot. I get excited to share everything, and sometimes I forget the order. And reverse direction. And find your left leg high to the sky. Make peace fingers with your right hand. Switch your grip. Left arm comes out to the side. Slowly bring your left leg across body. If you need to flip a grip, go for it. And then take your gaze out over your left shoulder. Slowly come back into center. Hug both knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Come over to your right side. And then push yourself up into hands and knees position. From here, hands are underneath the shoulders. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. Knees are underneath the hips. Drop the belly, look on up, maybe tuck under toes, push out through the heels. Gently rock forward and back, and then find some stillness in your cow pose. And then tuck the toes untuck your toes so toenails are touching onto the mat. Chin is in the chest, belly buttons into the spine for your cat pose. Take a few cycles of breath here, really focusing on pushing the arms away from the ground. The hands are engaged into the mat, but you're pushing away and you're sliding the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then find cow as you inhale. Cat as you exhale. Flow back and forth at the pace of your breath. And then find stillness in your tabletop pose. Lift your left leg behind you about hip height. Push out through the left heel. Plant the left toes. And then rock forward and back. And then slide your left toes to the outside of your right foot. You can also lift the left toes and set them to the outside of the right foot. So the left foot is on the right side of the body. Take a nice full inhale, push your hands into your mat. And then as you exhale, look over your right shoulder and take a peek at your left toes. And then come back into center. And then look over your left shoulder, peek at your right, over your right shoulder, and peek at your left toes. Come back into center. One more time, look out over your right shoulder, peek at your left toes. Come back into center, lift left leg high to the sky. Right arm comes parallel to the right ear. Find some stability here. Root down through your left hand and your right knee. Bring the belly button into the spine. Bring right elbow, left knee together. Round your back like you did in cat. Bring length. Extend right arm, left leg. Elbow and knee come together. Create length. Left leg comes long, right leg comes long. Bend the left knee. Left heel comes high to the sky. Keeping the leg at shoulder or at hip height, and then take your right arm, reach around and take a hold of the left foot and look forward. Nice gentle opener of the heart here. The arms are externally rotating open. Maybe use your inhale to come a little higher. Exhale, settle in. One more cycle of breath here, you've got this. Reach the leg and the arm long. Set everything down, bring big toes together, your knees come wide, child's pose. All right, from child's pose, come back into tabletop. Planting the hands and the knees, reach your right leg long behind you. Point the right toes down, push out through the right heel, look forward. Gently set your right toes down, push through the right heel. And then slide your right toes to the outside of your left foot. Take a nice inhale, look over the left shoulder, take a peek at your right toes. Come back into center. Look over the left shoulder at your right toes. And then back into center. One more time, looking over the left shoulder at your right toes. Come back into center. Send your right leg about hip height. Root down through your right hand. Reach left arm long. Bring left elbow, right knee together. Create length. Extend the arm and leg long. Elbow and knee comes together, round the back. Create length. One more time, elbow and knee comes together. Arm and leg come long, bend the right knee. So the right heel is reaching up towards the ceiling, rooting down through your hand and knee. Reach your left hand back, take a hold of the right foot, the right leg. Anything you can grab a hold of. Come up nice and tall, open up the heart. Use your inhale to open and your exhale to root down and ground down. One more cycle of breath here, you've got this. Create length, arm and leg come long, hand and knee come to the mat, take a child's pose. From child's pose, come into your tabletop. From tabletop, come into your plank pose or top of a push-up. Pushing into your hands and out your heels, create length. If you want, drop your knees. Nice full inhale here, you've got this. Exhale, lower down slowly. Chin touches the mat, hands are underneath your shoulder. Lift your chin, lift your chest, cobra pose, relax your butt. Lower down, chin to chest or forehead to the mat, whatever is working for you. Inhale, come on up, cobra pose. Release down, last time. Cobra pose as you inhale. Maybe push yourself up a little higher if you're ready. Slowly lower down. Find your plank pose. Hips high to the sky, downward dog. First downward dog of the practice, so feel free to move about. Maybe you pedal your heels from side to side. You can also slide forward into plank pose and then back into your downward dog. Beautiful, find some stillness in your downward dog. Reach your right leg high to the sky. Three-legged downward dog. Bend your right knee, stack right hip over left hip. Reach right leg over to the left side of your mat. Make any movements like circles with your knees or your ankles. Reverse direction. Three-legged downward dog. Step your right foot through to your hands, but bring the right knee to nose first. Give a nice arch to your back before you set your right foot down. Push out through your left heel, so look up. Once again, you're keeping the chest open. And then drop your left knee down onto the mat. So you're in a low lunge. Awesome. From here, come onto your left hand. And if you would like, you can make slow circles with the knee. Once again, getting the movement going in the hip joint. And reverse direction. Beautiful. Find stillness with the right foot planted onto the ground. Take your right hand to the inside of your right knee and slowly push your right knee out to the side to your degree. You'll come onto the lateral edge or the outside edge of your right foot and find a spot that's going to serve you. So some of us will stay pretty much with the right foot planted on the mat, and others of us will be able to come all the way down. But as long as you're not compromising anything, take it as far as you need. I'm going to stay up with my big toe a little bit closer to the ground this morning. Awesome. Wherever you're at, right foot is planted, low lunge. Tuck under left toes, lift left knee, high lunge. Step your right foot back to meet the left. Plank pose. Lower down slowly. And you can come into chaturanga here if you're ready. Up dog cobra. Down dog 5 breaths. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Root down through your right foot. Lift left leg high to the sky, 3-legged downward dog. Bend your left knee so left hip stacks on top of right. Make any circles or movements that you need. Three-legged downward dog. Step left foot through to your hands. Maybe bring the knee to nose. Runner's lunge. Plant through the right toes, push out through the right heel, look forward. Drop your right knee down to the ground. Low lunge. Come onto your right hand. Left hand on left knee. Make some circles. Movements going into the hip joint. Reverse direction. And then find stillness in your low lunge. And then in your own way, slowly start taking your left knee out to the side. Left hand is on the left thigh, inner left thigh. Lowering down to your degree. I'm going to keep mine pretty even, so my left toe is close to the mat. And then meet with your left foot planted. Left hand frames the left foot. Tuck under your right toes. Right knee comes high. Right knee comes up. Step left foot back to meet right. Plank pose. And then make a choice of how you want to flow, meeting in downward dog. From here, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift. Your fold. Reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky. Hands come into heart center. Bend the knees, allow the fingertips to touch the ground, and then bring the arms parallel to the ears, chair pose. So coming onto your heels, be able to lift your toes, spread them wide. Maybe you sink a little lower, maybe a little lower, maybe a little lower, or not. You can be where you need to be. Inhale, reach up, fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step your right foot back, high runner's lunge just for a breath. Right heel comes down to the mat. Feel all aspects of the left foot and the right foot rooted down. Bring your arms up, inhale, warrior one. Frame your left foot. Step left foot back to meet right. Take it through a flow. Skip. Meet in downward dog or take a child's pose. Two breaths left. From downward dog, take your feet to your hands, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky. Bend the knees, fingertips touch the ground, arms come up, chair pose. Once again, hang out here, go a little lower. Go a little lower. Maybe a little lower. Ooh, one more breath. Reach up, inhale, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, left foot comes back. High runner's lunge. Spin your left foot down. Left heel is planted, right knee is bent. Inhale, come on up, warrior one. Frame your right foot with your hand, step right foot back to meet left. Take it through your flow. Two breaths here. Walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift. Your fold. Reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky, hands come into heart center. My head gets cut off. It'll be fine. Root down through your left foot and bring your right knee up. Nothing fancy here. Set your right toes in front of you and then bring your right toes behind. And play around here a little bit. So bring the right toes in front, right toes behind, giving a little flexion and extension in the hip. And while you're doing this, notice how your left foot is rooted down onto the mat. Is it moving around? Is it changing directions? And try to keep the foundation and stability in your left foot. All right, bring the right knee up, cross right ankle over left knee, and come into your chair pose. Find a spot to focus your gaze and settle in. And if you fall out, come back in. If you want to, you can go a little bit deeper, folding forward, setting the hands onto the ground, and placing the shin on the back of the triceps and dropping the head. And then slowly come back up into your figure four chair pose. Push yourself up nice and tall. Bring right knee into the chest. Bend a little bit into the left knee as you send your right toes back into your high runner's lunge. Add your salute once you have your foundation. You're good. Awesome. Place your right heel onto the mat. Open up to the right side of your mat. Warrior two, if you want. Adjust your hips. Look out over your left fingertips. Bring your palms up. Bring your palms down. And up. And down. Beautiful. Set your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Bring the right hand onto your right hip. And then bring your right arm high to the sky. Open up the sternum towards the ceiling. And then reach right arm over right ear. And then bring yourself back up into your warrior two. Rotate everything back towards the top of your mat, coming into your high runner's lunge salute or crescent lunge. Frame your left foot, step left foot back to meet your right downward dog. But if you want to go through a flow, don't let me take that away from you. I'm going to skip it. All right, from downward dog, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. And then your halfway lift. And then your fold. Reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky, hands come into heart center. Root down through your right foot. Bring the left knee to the chest. Once again, notice the rooting and the grounding in your right foot. Step your left toes in front, left toes in back. Flirting around with flexion and extension in your left hip while you maintain grounding in your right foot. And then find some stillness with the left knee up. Hands can come onto the hips. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And slowly come into your chair. Little side chatter, I am having trouble with balance today. And that's okay, because I've got this. I just come out and come back in. If you want, you can always lower down a little bit deeper, placing your fingertips onto the ground, shin onto both triceps. And then wherever you're at, come back into your figure four. Keep the right knee bent. Bring the left knee up. And then set your left toes back, coming back into your high runner's lunge. And then set your left heel down. Open up to the left side of your mat. Look out over your right fingertips. Right hand comes to the inside of the right foot. Lift your left arm high to the sky. Open up your torso. And then if you would like, reach your left arm across your left ear. And then as you inhale, come back up into your warrior two. Rotate forward, crescent lunge. Frame your right foot, step back into downward dog, or take it through your flow. Walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Bend deeply into your knees, so much so that your bum comes onto the ground, and hug your knees into your chest. Sit up nice and tall. And then take a hold of the back of the thighs. And then from here, suss around a little bit on your backside. Come to find a balance point on your hip area. Toes can touch the mat, so you're setting up for your boat pose. And then bring your legs parallel to the ground, toes up. You can keep a hold of the back of the thighs as long as you're not gripping. So keep it easy. If you're finding pain in the low back, come out, reset, and then come back in. One more full inhale. Exhale, set your feet flat, hug your knees into your chest. One more time, and we're gonna have fun with this boat. So I'll show you from the side. So when you're ready, find your boat. All right, here we go. Lower everything down slowly, but hover over the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up into boat. Hold. Keep breathing. Lower and hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up into boat. You've got this. One more time. Lower and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boat pose. Set your feet down. Hug your knees into your chest. Drop the chin into the chest here. Woo. Awesome. All right. So in the beginning, you did a supine twist, and your right foot was touching the inside of your left thigh. I want you to replicate that, but I'll talk you through it. So bring your feet wide. Allow the knees to fall over to the side. So let's start off on the right side. So the right foot is going to come into the inside of the left thigh. Suss around a little bit. So you have some rooting and grounding. Bring your arms up. Rotate your torso over to your right side. Set your fingertips down. And then walk your fingertips out to the right side. And release the head, neck, and shoulders. For a little deer pose. And then walk yourself up. Place both feet flat. If you want, hands can come behind you and rock the knees from side to side until you find that they've fallen over to the left side. So take a few rocks from side to side. And then get rooted and grounded. Inhale the arms up. Rotate the torso over to the left side. Set your left fingertips down and walk them out. Release the head, neck, and shoulders. And then slowly walk yourself up. This time, bring both feet flat onto the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Tuck the chin into the chest. And slowly lower down. One vertebra at a time. Hug the knees into the chest. Give everything a nice squeeze. Bring the nose to the knees. Squeeze everything, even all the muscles in your face. Keep the shoulders drawn down and away. And then release. Keep the knees hugged into the chest. Allow the back of the skull to touch the ground. Awesome. Set your left foot down. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and hug your left knee into your chest. Hook your right elbow into your right knee. Left foot pushes out. Right toes are spread. Keep the right foot engaged. If you would like, extend left leg high. Nose can come to left knee. Set your left foot onto the mat. And then slide your right leg over to the left side. So the right knee is stacked on top of the left. Hands come down to the side. Lift and shift your hips to the right. and allow the knees to fall over to the left. Place your left hand on your right knee. If you would like, you can look out over the right side to your right fingertips. Those who want a little deeper stretch, reach your right foot to your left ankle or left foot for a little cat pulling tail variation. And then slowly release, allow everything to come back into center. Hug the knees back into your chest. Settle, root back down, ground back down. Rock from side to side. And then set your right foot onto the mat. Cross left ankle over right knee. Thread your arms through. Hug the right knee into your chest. Hook the left elbow into the left knee. Keep the left foot planted. Push out through the right heel. If you would like, you can always extend your right leg high. Bring the nose to the right knee. Find a degree that'll work for you. Then gently set your right foot down. Hands come down to the side. Slide your left knee on top of the right. Lift and shift your hips to the left as you allow your knees to fall over to the right side. Right hand can come on left knee. Gaze can come over the left shoulder to the left fingertips. If you want that variation of cat pulling tail, reach your left hand to your right heel without forcing it and settle in. And then slowly release. Bring both feet flat onto the mat. And then walk the heels close to the glutes with your arms to the side until your fingertips brush your heels. Root down through your feet here. Slide the shoulders down and away from the ears. So using the body scan that I gave you at the beginning of the practice, this is really great to come back to and settle back into. So try to remember where your arms were, where your shoulder blades were, where your feet were. Okay, with the feet flat, push up, push down into your feet, lift your hips up for a bridge pose. Keep the gaze looking up towards the ceiling. Maybe tuck chin into chest just slightly. And then lower down slowly. Rock knees from side to side. Feet flat, knees up. Push down through your feet, lift the hips. If you would like, lift the shoulders and slide the scapulas or the shoulder blades close to each other. Clasp the hands. Keep the glutes relaxed. Push down through the feet. Lift the hips a little higher. Breathe here. Slowly release back down and take your knees from side to side. Hug the knees into your chest. Take a hold of the back of the thighs and extend the legs up. If you're near a wall, feel free to do legs up against the wall. If you had any other variation for your inversion, I welcome you to it now. While you're in your inversion, I want you to focus on your breath, taking long inhales and long exhales. Slowly bring the knees into the chest. Extend one leg long and then the other. Have the hands and arms a comfortable distance away from the body. Palms can be up or down. And if you feel like you need to suss around a little bit to find some grounding and foundation in your Shavasana, do that now. Try to take 5 full cycles of breath like you did in your inversion, and then allow your breath to fall into a natural rhythm. I'm holding time and space for you in the Shavasana, and I will call you back. All right, yogis. Slowly make any small movements that you need. Come up to a seated position by rolling over onto your right side. And I'll meet you in a seated pose. Take your time. Awesome. Reach your arms up to the sky. Bring them together in prayer. And pull them through heart center, pausing at your third eye as a reminder to have loving thoughts. And then pause at your lips as a reminder to have loving words. And pause at your heart as a reminder to have loving actions towards yourself and towards others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Namaste. All right. Thank you. I'm going to unmute you all. So if you want to chat, you can.